All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. We can have our invocation from Pastor LeGrand.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Righteous Father, we look to thee from whom all blessings flow. For thou hast been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains was brought forth, or even thou hast formed the earth and the world. Even from everlasting unto everlasting, thou art God. We thank thee and praise thee, O God, for bringing us into this new year, year 2026. We pray for your divine guidance, wisdom, knowledge, unity, in the name of Jesus. For God, you see the need and you know the condition of our city. And we pray for each city councilman. We pray for the entire administration in the name of Jesus, that you would endow them with a fresh anointing and power and wisdom and knowledge to do business for thy people. And we give you praise and we give you glory and we thank you in advance. We ask it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, adoption of agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So Black History Month proclamation. Whereas Black History Month is an opportunity to share the many historical and present contributions of African Americans to the city of Hamlet, and whereas African Americans have played significant roles in the leadership of Hamlet's economic, cultural, spiritual, social, educational, and political development, and whereas the city of Hamlet celebrates Black History Month, recognizing the impact made by our African American community, and whereas Black History Month is a time for all Americans to remember the rich history of a people who helped to build this country through neighborhood leadership and involvement, advances the cause of civil rights, and strengthens families and communities, and whereas during Black History Month, all residents are encouraged to reflect on the past successes and challenges of African Americans and to look to the future building upon this heritage and to continue working for the ideals of freedom, equality, and justice. Now, therefore, do I, Amy Gwynn, Mayor of the City of Hamlet, North Carolina, do hereby proclaim February 2026 as Black History Month. Okay. VFW Proposal.
Mayor and Council, we have John Martin here, but before we start, just give you a little bit of a background. Mr. Martin had approached us and was interested in our VFW building to turn it into a sports bar and grill. I've since worked on a lease with some terms that you guys have in your agenda memo. And we have Mr. Martin here to just talk a little bit about what his plans are and let you guys discuss it, and then we can talk about it later. And just to be upfront, you know, currently this property, if it was to be turned into a lakeside sports bar and grill, we would have to go through a rezoning of it as well.
What is it currently zoned?
Residential.
Residential.
Yeah, that whole entire lot around the lake is zoned residential. I think it's R6. I think R6.
Which one?
R6.
R6.
I don't know. Hello, sir.
Hey, does this thing work? All right. Yeah, this is just a few slides of what I'm proposing to do with the place if you guys decide to lease it to me. This is a hand-drawn sketch of things that the interior and the exterior of the building. I would have to obviously build an extra bar on the inside of the gaming area, but basically it's going to be a place where everybody can come, even with their family and their little kids. It's going to be loaded up with all kinds of entertainment, games, cornhole, twister, checkers, chess, pretty much anything that I can fit in there, even a little, probably a par 3 putting green that can be used on top of the stage when there's not a band playing. But the kitchen is good to go. The patio lounge is awesome. The smoking area is set up great. I've already been in touch with different entertainment companies to provide all the pool tables and the games and pretty much anything I can get my hands on. You can go to the next slide.
Sorry.
All right, the kitchen itself is kind of small. It's very clean. It's very nice, but it's really small. So it's not really set up, in my experience, to be a production kitchen for solely a restaurant. But it is big enough for a bar and grill type place. And I've got a couple decades of experience running bars and nightclubs from Miami to San Francisco, Charlotte, all over the place. You name the kind of drinking establishment, I've run it, and restaurant. In my experience, a lot of people mess up because they want to run a restaurant and they want to run a bar at the same time. You simply can't do that. You use the beer to sell food, or you use the food to sell your beer. That's usually the way it works. In this case, uniquely the way it's set up, I've decided, instead of trying to lease it out to somebody with restaurant experience and try to get them to understand what I want, I'm just going to do it myself. I've already got the cooks and everything set and ready, but it's going to be simple, quick, easy, fast, just good old food. Stuff that kids like, burgers, fries, which is going to be fried in tallow. I want the old Burger King type fries that were awesome. But it's going to be simple, quick, and easy. Ideally, when you place your order, you're eating within 10 minutes, like really, really fast. I want it super, super fast, super easy, super fast. That increases the profit margin. There's not going to be any crazy menu with 5,000 offerings. I'm not doing gourmet pizzas or making sub sandwiches. It's quick and easy. Next. What I'm proposing for the back is where you see the yellow lines. I'm gonna put in a 6 or 8 foot privacy fence. On the left-hand side, I'm gonna build a greenhouse, and I'll get to that in a second. And the right-hand side, there's gonna be at least one fire pit with outdoor seating for the customers to come by, sit by the fire, make s'mores with their kids, whatever they want to do, especially on like a cold night, just sit outside by the fire. The greenhouse I'm gonna build, the main reason why I want to do that, it will show you on the next picture, is because of the nature trail that's right beside it. I've already been in touch, like, I don't know if you guys know, I'm a substitute teacher right now, and I've been subbing for Richmond County for about 6 years. And I've already got with the biology department at several of the middle schools, the high school, and a friend of mine's reaching out to somebody at the college. But an annual field trip for almost a lot of schools is plant identification, where the kids go and have to identify plants. I'm a science major myself, so I did that quite a bit. What I'd like to do is get with the county school system, and they've already volunteered to do it, several of the science teachers, and have them come out and give me a list of the plants that they use for plant identification, and I want to plant them along the nature trail. And the schools, they've volunteered to come out and maintain it and help it, but have this as a field trip destination for the kids from school. That's one of the reasons why I want to do the greenhouse as well, because it'll be aquaponics and hydroponics, which is something that the kids are learning in school now as well. But they can walk through the greenhouse, they can see how it works, do the nature trail, identify the plants, which is a requirement, and then come back and I'm going to hands-on show them how to plant plants, like probably a tomato plant or something, and get to take it home with them. That's the main reason why I want to do the greenhouse. The second reason why I want to do the greenhouse is because I want to serve the food, the fruits and vegetables that I grow in the restaurant. Like the tomato sandwiches are going to be specialty tomatoes, and it's got to be Duke's mayonnaise, obviously.
I saw it.
But I really want to, you can't mess, you got to do it right. But so it'll be the specialty tomatoes like the Cherokee purples and stuff like that that'll be on the burgers and the tomato sandwiches and stuff. Next slide, please. And finally, long-term goals is that whole area is just ripe for something fun. And I remember when I was a kid, when they built the water park in Greensboro, that was just the place where everybody went, because we never had anything like that. But as you can see where the building's at, the fenced-in area will come all the way to the back. There's already an existing boat ramp there. I'd like to refurbish that and update it with like a floating dock, which will be fenced in. I want to do boat rentals, canoe rentals, paddle boards, big, huge, massive family floats type things where they rent the paddle boats and just go out and have fun on the lake. And then that's where the yellow star is. The red star is an area I'm proposing would be awesome for an artificial beach. You know, good 200-foot long sand. We got volleyball courts. We could There's plenty of room for little tiki huts to rent out for birthday parties, things like that. Vending, it's all there, and there's plenty of room for it. Obviously, if you guys approve everything and as fast as you possibly could, there's probably no way to get the beach done by this summer, but it would definitely be ready and up and running by next summer. I want it to be a destination. And to be quite honest with you guys, I like to go out and have a drink from time to time. I've been living in Hamlet for 6 years, and now I have to drive to Southern Pines or all the way to the other side of Rockingham or somewhere else to just go shoot a game of pool and feel safe enough to turn my back on the crowd. We don't have that here. We don't have that here. I'm tired of having to drive half an hour to have fun. You know, I would like to have something here. On Friday and Saturday night, the younger kids and even the younger people in general get in their cars and they drive somewhere else to have fun. They spend their money somewhere else. Nobody comes here to have fun. We don't have any of that. You know, it'd be kind of nice to just be able to, when you kids want to go to the beach in the summertime and you can't afford to go spend $1,000 on hotel rooms and fun, just go to Hamlet, hang out at the beach, go home, eat your own food, or go to the bar and have a sandwich. You know, and the bar's perfectly set up. You got 2 bars. One's almost like a lounge where it's not super, super loud, and then you go into the game room where it's another bar, and then that's where you have fun at. But that's my proposal, and hope you guys look at it and let me know what you think. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. So excellent, excellent showing. But I have a question about swimming. You have an area there, you're going to
Yes,
clean
sir.
it off. Would it be an area for swimming?
The artificial beach, what I'd
Yeah.
planned on doing is coming in and grading it out into the water. Like, instead of, basically what I'd do is cut the beach into where the red star is. You see where the walkway curves?
Yeah, I see it.
Like, this part of the walkway's in pretty bad shape anyway.
Sure.
I suppose it's just
Terrible shape.
a nice gradual curve, and then just keep this area here. It'd be nice and shallow. And I've already talked with the general manager out at Vulcan, because we do our field trips over the kids, about riprap and rocks, maybe do a little cove in here.
Yes.
It'd be nice and safe for the kids to play, you know, 2, 3 foot deep water. And like a little cove here, and then paddle boats and all this stuff out here. And it's kind of funny, because I saw a picture of Hamlet like back, I want to say it was like in the 30s or 40s, but there used to be a great big beach floating dock out there with water slide and all that good stuff. And there's a whole bunch of kids swimming in the lake having fun. They don't do that anymore.
No. We need that badly here. And what about the liability for the people on the boats and the canoes
The
and,
thing is, it's just like when you go fishing, you know, I'll make sure you're gonna have to have life jackets and all that good stuff to be on the water, but once you're out there, it's on you.
it's on you? So that'll be there.
Like, I definitely wanna have the staff, the people that I'm gonna put here, you know, the ones doing the vending and things like that, they're overlooking the beach, obviously, especially with the little kids, that's how I want to close off. Because, I mean, I don't know of any parents that would just let a 2-year-old kid go in the water by themselves. They're probably gonna be doing it. Pretty much gonna be the same as it is to go to the beach. You go to the beach and it is what it is. So, you know, we'll make sure that there's ample, you know, protection, so to speak, there. But most people, I mean, you know how it is. They just wanna go lay on the sand and, you know, let the boys talk to them and stuff like that. But probably won't be a whole lot of younger kids down here. The teenagers will be the ones out in the water on the floats and stuff. And I
Yeah.
found these huge, massive floats that are probably 20-foot circles, and they literally sit like 10 or 15 people with spots for a cooler in the middle, and they just float all day. I've also, and I know this is a little bit further on down, but I've also contacted my uncle, he owns a place in South Carolina, but when we get a pontoon boat, and I want to refurbish it, I want to got the whole top, take it all out, and put a floating bar on the pontoon boat, and do like, you just rent it if you want to go party or something, but do like sunset cruises where you just cruise around the lake, having a drink. You know, it's all completely legal, I checked it all out. It's beautiful. In Florida, we had it was paddle boats. And when you got on the bar, it was a booster, you had to like pedal while you were drinking the paddle boat. But those boats are all crazy expensive. So I'm just gonna get that operated outboard motors for the pontoon boats. And those things are pretty efficient.
Yes, it is.
But, yeah, long-term plans is that, and a bunch of water games. You guys have seen like the Red Bull float tag, where the people have to build a plane and push it off the boat, see how far it goes in the water.
Yeah.
We can do stuff like that, if we can do it with, you know, give somebody a list of things that they can use to build their own homemade type boat. It's gotta be a certain name, this, that, and the other. One person gets in it, you have the fire department, police
Well, you just touched something I was going to ask about it. What about the protection of the people to come? Security is what I'm trying to ask about.
Security is, that's what I did. It's going to be very secure and very safe.
You can handle that. I understand that. I like that. Well, that sounds like a wonderful adventure.
I hope you approve it. I think it would be awesome. And, nothing else will get done with it.
That's right.
We're going to have fishing tournaments. There's going to be paddle fishing boats. We're going to have fishing tournaments. I want to
John,
find a way to.
can you come back to the mic? They can't hear you. Sorry.
I want to find a way to put a bounty on certain fish and like mark them. I don't know if you can put like a tag on them or something and just dump a couple hundred of those fish in the lake, and just randomly when somebody catches a fish, they just bring it to the bar and they get a $100 bar tab or something like that. Fun stuff. But it'll be kind of cool. I've already got bands lined up or that want to do it. It's not going to be how would I put it? It's not going to be an all-out crazy dance club. It's not going to be, there's not going to be any. The music's going to be very particular and very, very specific as to not to offend anybody, no matter what color you are or what age you are. There's going to be country, there's going to be rock and roll, old school stuff. There's not going to be any crazy acid metal, death metal. There's not going to be any shoot your neighbor up, gangster rap music. We're going to be middle of the road. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, but at the same time, when they come through the door, they know there's zero is going to be tolerated.
Well, on the east side of the lake over there, it's a residential area over there, and about the noise and the complaints from that.
When they see their property values go up, they won't mind.
Do what now?
When they see their property values go up, they probably won't mind.
Yeah. But you understand about what I'm saying about
Yes,
the
sir.
churches and stuff?
It's not going to, the music's going to be inside, and that's a cinder block building, and the actual gaming area, if you go back to the second slide, where all the noise is actually the internal part of the building. So it'll be, this right here is where mainly all your noise is going to be.
Okay.
This here, the lounge area is going to have to be on a separate jukebox at a low level for the older folks that don't want that crazy loud noise. These doors closed. So in here's fun time. Basically, it's 2 or 3 bars in one when you're looking at the patio lounge as well. That's going to be decked out with.
Yeah.
It's going to be decked out with rocking chairs, maybe a porch swing. I might throw a hammock or something out there because I might want to take a nap. All that good stuff.
I understand about the rocking chairs, but what about the basement? Is the basement, is it usable?
I've been in the basement. It's not usable now, but I do have plans to make it usable because there is actually a covered stairwell that goes down in there from the patio that's been covered up. And there's a cinder block, 1 or 2 rooms that are down there, but it's all dirt floor and everything. It would take some work, but it would be a great storage area. It would be a great place to put a walk-in cooler to keep the beer nice and cold, or just sit the beer down there because it stays at a relative 60-something degrees, so it's not that bad. But there are opportunities to do stuff down there, and I have looked at it. But that would be like number 11 on my list versus the rest of it. Right now, I just want to get in there and get it open and start generating some income and put money back into it. The fence. The whole interior of the gaming area has got to be remodeled. All that 1970s paneling just doesn't really look too good. But the ceiling's got to be painted, the walls have to be redone. You got to build the stage, build the bar, fence. So it's going to be a little bit of work. But the cool part is I got experience doing that too, so it's not that big of a deal.
I hope there wouldn't be a conflict on it because, as you mentioned, there's a public ramp there, and the citizens, they like to really fish over there and use that ramp. I hope there won't be a conflict over there.
Nah, we're going to clean it up and make it easier for them to do that.
You'll take
Not going to get in their way.
All right, great.
All right, we have key provisions of the proposed lease. Are there any questions about that?
What's the hours of operation going to be?
Initially, since Hamlet's kind of a small town, and there really isn't an easy way to advertise here, so I figured the best way would be I'll probably open up while I'm doing some of the remodeling, because this sidebar area is good to go. All the remodeling is going to be inside, so while I'm remodeling, I'll have a bartender there that'll be open up if somebody just wants to walk in and check it out for word of mouth. But initially, it'll probably be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, and slowly bring everybody along, get them used to the food, get them used to everything. And then once summertime gets here, obviously, it's going to be wide open. I'd like to be 7 days a week, daytime and nighttime,
Nights meaning what times?
till
What
2 a.m.
hours?
Or how late is what
Yeah,
you're
how
asking?
late?
2 a.m.
Will there be any seating anywhere in there for people?
Oh, yes,
to-
ma'am. Yeah, see where it says seating right there? at
Seated in the
bottom?
middle.
There'll be chairs and tables all throughout there. I just didn't want to mess up the drawing with a whole bunch of circles and try to figure out how to draw chairs. But there'll be
The
seating
bar
all,
area where you said was for older people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody didn't want to have all the racket. Would there be tables in there? Or
yes, ma'am.
would there be other places?
Yeah, anywhere you could put tables and chairs, there'll be seating on the patio, seating on the sidebar here, seating all in front and around the main bar. And as you see, the kitchen has a door to go to the sidebar and a door that comes out to the main bar, so it'll be easy to get the food out to serve people.
I love your food menu. That's right down.
That is simple. I ain't
I
trying to
love
do
it.
nothing gourmet. I mean, it's just simple, easy, quick, fast, and in a hurry.
I just didn't see any pickled eggs or any pickled feet there.
I actually have those at the house. I do a lot of canning myself, so.
Well, thank you. That's a great
The
adventure.
only thing I have, I noticed there's something in the contract about tenant improvements, dollar for dollar credit. The only thing I have about that is, I think that needs to be overseen. In other words, not just a blank check.
No, I'm bringing receipts.
Well, no, I ain't talking about that. I'm saying if you get ready to do something, you know, we need to know what you're gonna do and get it approved before we just say, okay, yeah, that's fine, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
I just did the ceiling, the walls, the new bar, the fence. That'll eat up 10 grand super quick.
But that's what I mean, we need to know.
Yeah, the nice
We need to
privacy
know
fence by
beforehand.
itself is 4 to 5.
Yes, sir.
And-
TC?
And Mr. Cluis, what a lot of times folks will do is they'll just have something that says, major improvements are subject to approval by the city manager, which shall not be unreasonably withheld. That way, you know, when he wants to do any work, it doesn't have to come back to you all.
No.
But you've got someone
Right.
looking
No,
at it.
that wasn't
So
talking
if you're
about
okay with that,
us.
we could just add that in.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about us, but someone,
I think as long as it's a tenant arrangement, that's appropriate.
right.
And everything that I'm proposing to do to it is an upgrade that's going to stay with it, so.
Then, will the initial, what will they be the terms of the initial lease? It says up to 10 years, but the initial lease won't be for 10 years, will it?
That's really at the discretion of council. And I don't know if Mr. Martin had thoughts about how long you wanted the initial lease to be.
I'd like it to be 10 years. I don't plan on going anywhere, and I don't plan on going out of business, so.
Well, I hope you have
Your
success.
optimism.
Yeah, that's real great. I
Well,
like
mean,
it.
it's kind of like, if it's something you've done a whole bunch, you know how to do it. I mean, a carpenter isn't scared of a hammer, so I'm not really scared of this bar. So it's just not that big of a deal. I think it'll go over really well around here, too. I'd like it to be a destination where people talk about it and people get in the car and drive, you know, half an hour to come here to hang out.
I like the idea, I like everything, but let's just look at it like this. Let's say that the swimming part didn't work out.
Mhm.
In other words, for whatever reason, we said, no, you can't do that. You still on board to go with everything else.
If you shoot down everything, like everything after the bar is just extra. That's all stuff that came in my head at home when I was sleeping at night, because I've been trying to put this thing together for months now. If it's just the bar and grill, that's in my brain, that's what I'm set for.
And the fence will come down to the walking area, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I walked it off, it's 30 by, the width of the building's approximately 100 feet, so you're looking at 3,000 square feet fenced in. You know, greenhouse, the
How
fire
much
pits.
property is included with that particular?
I think it's around 6,000 square feet, the building.
I know,
Don't
but
quote
I
me on
meant
that.
the extra acreage other than the building itself, or is it just the footprint of the
So
building?
that would be part of the rezoning. We probably have to look at getting a surveyor out there as well to line out some property lines, because right
determine.
now it's one big parcel, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
and I know they use part of it for senior games and, you know, so, and part of it is a park area, so.
And I would suggest, because I think the additional items outside are a great idea, but it's a kind of a different use than the bar and grill inside. So I would just suggest that the lease specify that basically, you'd have to come back with a plan that council could approve, because there's some talk about liability and just all that stuff. So I wouldn't want the lease to be approved with it appearing that it's also approving these other items outside of the bar and grill. Not saying no, just saying.
It's a one-step process.
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
one step at a time.
I think unless TC recommended against this, I think what we would do is work to get conditional zoning brought in front of the council for approval on the planning board versus a traditional rezoning to business, B2.
And this is much for Mr. Martin's benefit as anybody's. With conditional zoning, remember, you can add conditions. So you can start to pull out that specificity of what he's proposing. It'll give you an opportunity, since you got to go through the process already, to kind of flesh out in more detail what you're hoping to do. So I think it would actually be a good thing to proceed with.
My plan for the vending and stuff for the beach with the foods and drinks and ice cream and things like that, and I know it sounds kind of goofy, but my plan for that is I'm going to form a separate vending company, and I want to employ the kids from my school and the high school kids during the summertime to come out and let them make extra cash doing the vending. You know, they got the little mobile shaved ice machines and the hot dog, you know, kind of like when you go to the ball game and the girl comes around with the big box in front of her with the strap, those kind of things. They just come to the bar, get loaded up, and go out and sell ice cream and drinks, you know, and
Well,
give some people their first jobs, some of the kids that are playing.
I've got another question. If evidently spending all this money and taking this adventure, you planning on at some time purchasing that building?
Absolutely.
On that deal. But what if any time between the leasing and the city wants to void the contract with you? How would that affect it? What kind of effects would that go to the attorney, or how would that work out if we wanted to stop it? The city I'm talking about being we.
There's already a provision within the proposed lease, and I think it is, don't quote me, it's either 90 or 180 day
180.
notice. If it's a 180 day notice too, it goes both ways.
Yeah, both ways.
Okay. That's it.
Now, if I get it up and running and it's kicking butt and taking names, and you guys give me a 90-day deal, there's going to be a problem up in here, I'm telling you right now. So there better be a really good reason. Like,
I think you could handle it.
I do my best, but you know, it's. I think it'll work. I'm very confident. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, because public speaking makes me anxious. But I think it'll be worth it.
All right.
I don't see any downside to it.
No.
The building's in decent shape. You know, it's in a unique spot. Like I've already looked at another bar, or was supposed to be this winter, looking at another place, but like if it was just location, I'd give this like a 50-50 shot. But it's the lakes there, you know, because the guy I used to always work for, the way he would choose his buildings and his bars, he said, how many left, right, lefts do you got to do? If you got to do a whole bunch of left, right, lefts, it ain't worth it. And you got to do some left, right, lefts to get here. You got to drive through Rockingham, you got to drive through Hamlet, you got to do left, right, and then left to get there. But if when you get there, it's not just a dark room with one pool table and a bunch of people yelling and music you can't understand. You've got good food, it's lit up, there's a bunch of games, there's a fire out back where you can make s'mores, you can get on a boat and turn laps around the lake if you want to. You know, that's worth doing some left, right, lefts.
I love the idea of using that lake for swimming, for somewhere for these children and people to go swim. We haven't had one in years.
When I saw that picture, I was like, man, we got to get people back
It's
to the lake.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful lake. Okay.
Would you term your plans as a family-friendly establishment?
I almost want to make it a condition. You know, it's,
Okay.
I'm a teacher. I love kids. You know, and to
Right.
be honest with you, to just bring it down to just plain business, not being a compassionate guy, doing the field trips with the greenhouse gets the kids there. The kids, we feed them. They get to see all this stuff. They get to see the paddle boats. They get to see the beach. They go home, and what do? They tell mommy and daddy where they want to go this weekend.
So
It's a
it's
business.
your objective to involve a family as opposed to an adult clientele?
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. That'll be family. You know, obviously, it's going to gear itself more towards adult, you know, 9, 10 o'clock at night when it gets later.
Yeah.
But the sole purpose of it is I want it to be a safe, friendly atmosphere. I don't want any drama. I've had enough of that in my life.
Another thing, would there be a fee for going in swimming and using, I know for the canoes and the boats, but would there be a fee for going swimming?
I hadn't planned on charging anybody.
You won't be charging anybody to?
That's up to you. I mean, if you guys want to fence it off and do a
No,
charge,
I just think it'd be, if they want to go swimming, it'd be fine. and lay out there on that beautiful landscape.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, using the beach to bring people to Hamlet is a positive thing. Using the beach to bring people to help my bar and restaurant out is a positive thing. If we make money off charging people to come to the beach, I think that would, I don't know if that would work really well. You know, if it really blows up and it's like a serious destination, then yeah, there's probably eventually going to be a need for a fence and somebody standing there, you know, charging or checking IDs to make sure nobody under 18 is coming in by themselves, that kind of thing, if it's super, super crowded. It's highly unlikely, but if it did get to that, that would still be a positive. You know, that would mean that it's really successful. It'd be a pain to deal with, but it's workable.
But all you could be using would be, you'll have the rights just down to the walkway behind the building, the VFW building, right? But as far as the water and the ramp and all, you don't have rights to that other than what the city will let you have.
Yes, sir, as far as I know.
That'll be up to the city.
Yes, sir.
To council.
That's why I wanted to separate the beach from the boat dock and where the paddle boats will be, so there wouldn't be any conflict of
Right.
kids getting run over by boats.
But it'll be up to, the city will still have the say on the use of that.
Yes, sir.
Answer my questions.
All right, do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we accept his, proposal.
Can we,
Oh, just a minute.
We have to.
I think that we still got some work to do on this, and that's why the recommended was to talk
Okay.
about it, discuss it, and then we'll go forward and bring this back for an approval.
Okay.
All right.
I'll
Any
do
other
it.
questions?
Have a little bit more detail for you next time.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank
All right,
That's a
thank you,
very
John.
good proposal. We got a question, come up, Mr. Brown. Hey, Joe. How we doing? Well,
Okay. I have a concern. And my concern is that the liability. I don't know if our city attorney has looked into that, but with any type of business, when you deal with children, school children, if anything happens, will the city be liable? As far as, it's a great idea. I'm not trying to shoot this idea down. But are we opening ourselves up for a liability as far as the city lake, as far as the property that the city has now, which will have to be annexed, a certain part of it? So, and there are a lot of moving pieces that he
Yeah,
has here.
still to
That's
be
a
worked
lot
out.
of moving pieces, security, alcohol, children, adults. So that's the only concern that I have. I really
that's a very
think,
good point.
I really think that we need to,
That's what I brought up about the liability, about the swimming and the boat use in the lake. Who would be responsible for it? And he said that it'd be on their own for that. So I don't know how it is now when people go fishing, as you well know, people use it to fish on a lot. And they walk around that walkway and it's up around the dam area and the caboose area, the parking area. But that's
PC,
a
do you
very
have
good
any-
point you made, Mr. Brown.
Comments?
thank you.
I do. I completely agree that we need to make sure we've addressed that. And I really see it as kind of three different areas. So you have liability for the business inside of the building. And, you know, there's going to be inside the lease an insurance requirement, and there's some other things like that. I think the liability is a little bit different once you're on public property, you know, outside. And I think it's a little bit different when you're dealing with water uses. And that's one reason I suggested that as Mr. Martin moves along with this project, that the outside uses come back for a second proposal, because I think there's probably got to be some talk about how we address the liability for that. So the short answer is we're working on it, but you're completely right that it's something we need to be focused on.
Well, like I say, this, when you have children, alcohol, and water, that's a lot.
And human
Thank
and men and women, you're gonna have trouble, brother.
Thank you.
Yes.
This really isn't,
This isn't a public hearing.
yeah,
it
this
is
is
a
not a
public
public,
hearing.
I'm sorry, I really shouldn't have let him come up, but, yeah, I'm sorry, I apologize.
And what I would say is if there are concerns, send them to me in an email, and I will bring them to council, and then there will be an actual meeting to discuss this lease and the specifics within it
And,
in the
and,
future.
yeah, and on that, Mayor, the statute requires for a lease of this length that would give 30 days public notice. And it doesn't require a public hearing, but you as a board could certainly do that. And so to John's point, we can take feedback from citizens in advance, and if folks have concerns, you all can let folks talk about it then.
Okay, sounds good.
No, we need to keep this on track and keep the meeting moving.
Well, according to the form of the law, if you're gonna let one person do it, then you have to let everyone.
We're moving on. Item number 7, the wastewater treatment plant bond council.
All right, council, this is for our wastewater treatment plant. It's actually a legal requirement, and as we're moving forward on this project, this actually started back in June of 2021 under Matt Christian and TC. But the point is that we have a legal requirement to run specific legal requirements to get to the end state of breaking ground for our wastewater treatment plant. One of those is that we acquire bond counsel, which is an outside legal counsel that walks us through step-by-step process of that. I can turn it over to TC if he wants to explain it a little bit more in depth, but it does come with a cost, and this was something that started back in 2021, but we are at the point now where we need to go ahead and solidify that contract.
Yeah, and just to provide a little bit more clarity on that, the city's going to be seeking $12 million in financing, so that is debt, and that's enough debt that we have to get approval from local government commission. And local government commission has a number of requirements, steps, and there are, as John said, there are legal certifications that have to be made about the city's ability to borrow and things like that. And it's just specialized enough work that my firm doesn't do it. The firm that has made a proposal, I know them well and highly recommend them. This is kind of what they do. And there is a cost involved, but I think when you're considering that it is a $12 million financing, it's well worth it to make sure it's done right, so we don't have an issue with the financing. So happy to answer any questions you have, but I would recommend approval of the bond counsel contract.
Anybody have questions? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve bond counsel of Sanford Holehouser to proceed with this project for the waste treatment plant.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
All right. Item number 8, review of grant rezoning application.
If you want to pull up the map, you can. So Mr. Grant, the owner of property located at the corner of Freeman Mill and Gin Mill Road, have filed a rezoning request to rezone the parcel from RA20, which is residential agriculture, to I2, which is heavy industrial. The planning board met last month, and they unanimously recommended rezoning.
Sure, come on up.
My name is Major Nathan Grant, retired from Richmond County Sheriff Department with 53 years of service. In 1980, I was shot out there close to the entrance to Richmond County College, answering a burglar alarm. That's neither here or there. I was approached about putting a trailer, RV park out there. All these people coming in from that business out there on the airport road, they're going to have no place to go. And there's not an RP park in Hamlet. They're going to have to go to Southern Pines or Mount Gilead or South Carolina. And they asked me about it, and it's up to you all if you want to put it out there or don't. it doesn't really matter to me one way or the other, but them people's gonna have to have a place to sleep.
So this
Thank
would be open to the public? It wouldn't be specific to Amazon or anything?
No, it's,
Okay.
I own the property. I got 18 acres out there altogether.
Mhm.
And I just got 8 that I'm having, rezoned, but I got 10 more, just all together. And, I think it would be, as Mr. Cluis would tell you, those things run right, RV park, are as good as you can get. They are real strict with the people that runs them.
Mhm.
And, they don't have no trouble in them. I've been in one I own 2 RVs in a RV park in my son's state full time. And as long as I've been up there, about 25 years, I only know one incident they had. And security cleared that up. So if they had any more trouble, they would be barred from that place for life. And they have their own security system in those places, and they can grow to be real nice. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
I got
sir.
a question for you, Mr. Grant.
Nathan,
Would that be strictly for mobile homes, or would it be strictly rental?
it's an RV.
Yeah,
Campers.
Temp-
you can't have RVs in it. It's your house, you can have them, but you can't hook them up, I don't think. And when they come in here with them, they'll have RVs, but ain't no place to put them
Right,
that I know of.
yeah, I don't either. See,
Is I-2 the appropriate zoning? for
Yeah, I
RV?
could add a little zoning context for you. If you look at that map up there, all of the green is currently RA20, which is currently zoned. Across the street is B2. There's a local business there. And then the faded pink color is actually I2. So it is adjacent to I2. And I2 is the only zoning district where RVs are allowed at this time.
Close to our waste treatment plant?
Yeah.
Going
Right there
out
on the
toward the
corner.
industrial park?
Thank
and
you.
by the way, thank you for your service to the county, Mr. Grant.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I-2 is just for RVs.
It's heavy industrial, but it's currently our only zoning jurisdiction that allows RV parks. Yes.
And what it is now, what is it now?
RA20,
RA20, it's residential agriculture.
residential agricultural.
Council, this item is a public hearing, so you'll have to open a public hearing if anybody wants to speak on it.
I'll open the floor for discussion. Ma'am, did you have a comment?
I did. Mr. Grant's property.
Can you tell us your name?
Allison Thomas. I live at 361 Gin Mill Road, which is the property directly beside Mr. Grant's proposal for RV park. And when I looked it up, the National Association for Realty actually says that having an RV park in a residential area will actually decrease your property value up to about 20%. You don't know who's coming into the community. You don't know, I know it's quick and simple. They get in, they get out, but then everybody I've talked to in the community, nobody wants the RV park. My neighbor who's in front of us at, I think it's 363 Gin Mill Road, she sent in a letter of opposition, but I don't think it was turned in time, because I don't think she turned it in until today because she wasn't aware of the meeting. And I know there's other folks here from other areas around there that also are opposed for it. So it's not something that we want in our community. We have a nice, quiet community, and I know there's no telling what's going to come in with an RV park. I have animals. We've had a pig pen right there at the back of our property that butts up to his property. Are we going to have problems with our animals? We also have chickens. What's the noise level going to be like from the RV park? Who's going to be coming into it? Is he going to have strict restrictions? It's just not something that anybody in our community wants in our neighborhood.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to add something. She sounds odd to her lot. I ain't said anything about it.
It's an agricultural area, so yes, sir.
Do we have any other comments? Come on up to the microphone.
My My name is Ryan Smith. I live on 108 Axel Lane. I live right behind that. We have a cul-de-sac full of children, and it does concern us and the neighbors of who is coming in and coming out. Are we going to be aware of who it is? Are they going to be child predators? Because our whole neighborhood is full of children. What kind of noise it's going to be? Because like she said, where she lives, where I live, is also quiet as well. So our concern is who's coming in, who's coming out, the noise level and everything. So that's my comment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan.
Anybody else?
If there's nobody else, council, you guys can close the public hearing, and then you guys can discuss amongst yourself. Remember that you can take the testimonies from those who spoke, but they can't speak for people who weren't here.
All right, we'll close the public hearing session or section. Any discussion?
Ryan, could you come back up here? Can I ask her a question? I'm sorry, but I gotta ask it. You said you live right behind that property?
Mm-hmm. Where Freeman Mill Road and Batley Dairy Road. Isn't that where the property is?
No, the
Where's the
property
property?
is on the corner of Freeman Mill
And
and
Gin Mill Road.
Jim Mill Road.
Okay.
Yeah, don't you live over off of Batley Dairy Road?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Now, this is if you come off 177 on Freeman Mill and you go over to Gin Mill, it's that piece of property across from Jacob's Autos.
Well, I appreciate you clarifying that for me,
Yeah.
because we've had somebody bought the property behind our lot,
Yeah.
and nobody has called. I know my neighbor has called to see what it's going to be, and nobody has let her know anything. So I appreciate you
Are
clearing that
you
up.
talking about the old furniture?
Fatner
Yes,
furniture.
that one.
Yes.
That's a different one.
Yes. And I know my neighbor has called to see what's going on, and nobody's returned her call. But I
Okay.
appreciate y'all clearing that up for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the reason I was thinking, where?
No, it's fine,
Yeah,
but see, we don't know because nobody has let us know. So.
Yeah,
All right,
okay,
thank
that's
you.
great.
You can stay for just a second. I just wanted to let you know, when it comes to a rezoning, the reason that if you were to talk to our planning director, assistant city manager, we can't tell you what's going to be there, because as soon as it's rezoned, that person could put whatever is approved within that special table of uses. Does that make sense to you?
That makes sense.
So they could say, hey, we're going to put an RV park there.
But has
there's
that been
also
rezoned?
there's 50 to 100 other different, uses in there that they could change their mind and say, we're not doing that anymore. Now we're going to do this. And we have no legal right to stop them.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
And,
Do you know if that part has been rezoned, though?
That's what we're talking about right now, ma'am.
Yep, 80 wants to.
and also, Mackenzie, how many people or how far out does it go that people actually get a letter that there is a rezoning going on,
It's adjacent properties.
adjacent properties?
And that's the list that
that
we've
just
got,
the-
right?
Yes,
Eight
you
or
have,
nine?
you have a list of everyone that received a letter.
Already closed the public
It's also posted locally in the paper and on the property itself.
I was just trying to clarify,
No,
I'm
but
sorry.
Oscar's, okay.
Yeah. Thank you,
You're
Ryan, I appreciate that.
Okay,
Got a
I've
lady
already
to come up.
closed the public session, though. So,
You all can deliberate
You don't
amongst
gonna let the lady
yourselves.
come up?
We'll deliberate amongst
This says 17.81 acres, Mackenzie.
I'm sorry.
17.81 acres.
Yes, that's the total
Is he only
property.
rezoning 8 of it?
that's what he said.
What is the deal?
It was
'Cause
my
it shows
understanding it
him-
was the entire parcel. But he just said 8, so.
So,
Miss Allison, is your last name Amons?
Maiden name was Amon, but married name was Thomas.
That's all the GIS information for the property that you guys have.
okay.
Is that the Harrington and Patterson?
Well, we can vote on the consistency statement.
Madam Mayor, lady calling you.
We have already closed it, Oscar.
Huh?
We've already closed it.
You're not gonna let the lady come up?
No.
No.
All right, do we have a motion on the consistency statement?
So how do you close it, but then call her back up to the podium?
Well, you can.
Mayor, council, you all are more than welcome to close the meeting and then ask specific people questions. That is not part of the public hearing.
Ma'am, do you have something to say?
Good evening.
I'm sorry?
I said, well, good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
My name is Marquita Harrington, and I do live down the road from Miss Allison. My address is 338 Jim Mill Road, and I do oppose to the RV park. It is a quiet neighborhood. We do have kids, and I just wouldn't. I don't feel like that would be a good place for an RV park in our community.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone appear at the planning board hearing?
Just one, our first speaker, and Mr. Nathan.
So notices were sent out to all the adjoining property owners, and one person appeared.
That's correct. They receive a notice before the planning board meeting, which was last month, and then they receive a second one before this meeting.
So one appeared at the planning board meeting and two appeared tonight.
3. Well, yeah, 2, because Ryan didn't qualify.
I don't think they did.
Have we got to vote on consistency statement?
Nope. You can table it, I guess. What further will we do? If we table it and bring it back?
I just,
You all need to speak out loud as well, please.
Is she not on the list? Is she not on the list?
I don't see the list. That's what I've been looking for.
Oh,
Her name was Thomas, right?
Ammons.
Yes, sir.
Ammons.
I know it was included in the package.
yeah, here it is.
Yes, sir.
It's like 8, 7, 8. You don't see that?
This one.
I got that. See, is that the same one I have?
Yeah, that's it.
We got to do something.
Ms. Hammonds, do you live in the 2-story house or do you live in the mobile home?
Neither. I live in the yellow house that is adjacent to the two-story home. The white two-story home, said they never received notice, and I'm assuming since their property isn't adjacent to his, is why they never received one. She sent in a letter of opposition, but she didn't, I don't think she sent it in until today.
So the yellow house is between the 2-story house and the mobile home. Is that correct?
There's no mobile home next to this property. Now, there's a mobile home on the other side of the property.
Well, there's a mobile home, if you're looking at it, it's to the left. In other words, if I'm going Jim Mill Road towards Hamlet, I pass the property, there's a mobile home or something back in there that you can't hardly see.
That's the yellow
That's the yellow house.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. Thank you.
I just want to say to the residents, we're going to be, City of Hamlet, Richmond County is going to be looking very different in the next 1, 2 to 5 years. I'm a family guy. I'm a local country southern guy, but the things are getting ready to change. I understand family, I do, and I understand our communities, and we live comfortable and no noise and all of those things. But things are getting ready to really look different for us if this AWS comes and make these kind of changes in our community. And we are going to have to be a part of this workforce and this new economics. And we want our town to grow and be in economics. So I just got to tell you guys, I hear you, but I am, from my point of view, from this councilman, I am for this new economics and this RV and this new rezoning change.
Well, the only problem I have is the current industrialization that I have going on around my property. I'm assuming they're starting to run the data cables. I'm assuming for the Amazon plant that's going to the ditch. But the problem is they're not staying in the ditch. They're on our property. They are tearing up our property. So with his industrialization, how is that going to affect my property? Because like I just said, the Realtor Association said that putting an RV park on is going to decrease, not increase, decrease my property value. So I'm all for change. The gentleman with the sports bar and the grill sounds like a good plan for me. But when it has a negative impact on the community or a possibility of a negative impact on the community, I'm not for that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well, we need to look at the consistency statement.
Right.
And whether or not this action, whether we approve it or not, would be consistent with the existing zoning regulations in that area.
Do we have a motion on the consistency statement?
I think this request does comply with the existing zoning. We've got I-2, B2, and RA20 in the area. So I would recommend approving the consistency statement.
All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Thanks.
So now, do we have a motion to rezone?
I'll make a motion that we rezone this property.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right. We're on to comments from attendees. Let's see.
Favorite part of the meeting.
So, Ms. Thomas, did you still want to speak, or?
Can we back up for 1 second? I apologize, but we did not do the motion to approve the resolution for the water and
Wastewater.
sewer bonds.
We needed that in addition to the bond count. So you approved.
Number 7?
I believe that's right, Madam Mayor. So you approved the bond council contract, but then there's a separate resolution about seeking approval from the LGC for the bonds. And it was included under enclosure 9. It was right behind the bond council contract.
And it could be a simple motion to approve resolution number 2605,
Is the resolution?
resolution supporting an application to.
I don't have any information on this.
I don't either.
Is there a resolution in here?
It's in the packet.
This one?
It's not on our agenda.
Okay. Everybody have it?
I do. I make a motion we accept resolution number 26-05 for the wastewater treatment project.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Did you say aye? Okay. All right, now on to public comments. Ms. Thomas, do you want to speak?
Ma'am,
Can
could
you
you come
come
up
to
to the
the-
podium?
The consistency statement that you voted on, what is that?
That is just to determine whether or not the rezoning itself would be consistent with what is currently around this property.
With the zoning ordinance?
So if he turns around and does something besides an RV park,
As long as it's allowed in that zoning, he could do that.
and what all is allowed in that zoning specifically?
Ma'am, there's a lot. If you want to come and sit down with myself or Mackenzie, we will be happy to go through all of that with you. You come in tomorrow morning, and I will sit down with you personally and show you everything within that zoning district.
Okay. And then the only
I
other
get
thing
here at
is-
8 a.m.
Huh?
I get here at 8
And
a.m.
it's I-2. It's I-2, so you'll know.
I-2 zoning? Okay. You'll be on my to-do list for tomorrow then, because I also have to call Richmond County DOT tomorrow
Yes, ma'am.
for all the mess that's going on.
If I'm not
the
here,
property.
then Ms. Mackenzie Webb will be here, and one of us will sit down with you and go through that with you.
Okay, and so even though the residents oppose it, it still was approved?
Well, only 2 residents registered any opposition. They, you know, if the others opposed it, they didn't say anything.
So how many letters were actually sent out?
I assume residents, however many are on this list.
I don't know
There's a
what the
property
list is.
across the
1, 2,
street.
3.
See, this is all I-2 already.
4,
Yeah, it's a
5,
little
6,
farming, a little farm.
12.
It's right across the corner on Gin Mill Road. There's Gin Mill Road. All this property right here is already zoned I-2. So it's already in the neighborhood. That's why his request is consistent with what already exists.
But how many letters were sent out is my question.
6.
7?
I saw 7. That was, I got it.
Yeah. Ma'am, I
Here they
would
are.
love to sit down with you and go through you, and I can also go through the statutes and 160D with you, which is the planning and zoning ordinance that is directed by the state, and talk to you more in depth about this. The zoning itself, though, it passed, but I can explain more in depth on it.
And they'll
with
give you a
and-
list. That's the people
Yeah.
we have. They'll give you a list of people that were notified.
And since it's been approved, there will,
Nathan Grant, Thurman Green, the Harringtons that just spoke, Lewis and Lori Jacobs, Jonathan, or John Foxworth, and yourself. You know,
all right, thank you.
All right, Denise Cozart.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council.
Good evening, Denise.
Glad to be in front of you again. And I'm speaking on from Dock Hills Family Care Home. Assisted living, we have successfully completed our first full year of service. With that being said, I've been before you several times already in regards to the traffic and the speed on the road. We talked about changing the speed. We talked about putting speed bumps, but we can't do that because of liability. And we are settled with the speed sign that sits right outside of between 308 and 3010 on the pole. It works, when it works, it does well, but it stays down and off more than it stays on. And we call, and then we have to wait, and then it goes out again, and right now it's been out for 2 months. So the police department can come and pick it up, because it's not serving its purpose. What I'd like to see on the corner of High Street and Spring Street is to start a conversation or a dialogue to make that a 4-way stop sign. Much like what we did going into Dobbins Heights, that now is a stop sign and not a yield sign. So I would like to start a dialogue. What do we need to do to make that a 4-way instead of a 2-way stop sign in that area? High Street, the
It's right
corners
there,
of
the
High Street
one-way
and Spring.
One-way sign,
right where that one-way sign is.
one-way signs out.
Now, what has happened since my first encounter in trying to get the speed to slow down there so my residents could be able to cross the street safely, is to stop the 18-wheelers from coming down the road. That has, we get one every now and again.
There's supposed to be a sign down there not letting
Okay,
them
and
come through
it's
there.
been there since the 80s that they blatantly disregard.
Yeah,
Now,
because that's been there forever.
yes, it has, but they disregard that
But they
down at
have
the
a sign,
stoplight.
no tractor
It
trailers.
says no through traffic is the sign.
Well, there was one, no tractor trailers.
No, it just says no through traffic
Yeah,
now.
well-
So now the tractor trailers, we get them every blue moon, and it's nothing to speak on. The biggest thing is to continue to slow the speed down, and I think if we could make that intersection of High Street and Spring Street a four-way stop sign would be very beneficial.
I think we're on time.
Are we
but-
timing?
Yeah, but what I can recommend is that I'll talk to Chief Carsto specifically about this, ma'am. And then if he analyzes it and it looks like a good place that we could put a four-way stop sign, then I'll bring it back in front of council and let them,
That's all we ask. We ask for the conversation to get started.
I'm right there for you.
Appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise.
Mr. Latimer? And our clock isn't working, so Mackenzie's over there timing.
Good evening, everyone, and the councilman. I have a issue with the quorum rules that were put out about a couple weeks ago now. And I'd like to address some of the quorum rules, please. One of them is chilling speech. That kind of happened here tonight when Amy opened up the floor. She should have then, once she allowed Joe Brown to speak, she should have also allowed me and Denise to speak. That's as part of the rules. Also, when Tony Cluas then asked for a question, Amy, you could not shut down Mr. Sellers because you are supposed to allow him the same respect as Tony Cluas, and you did not do so. Chilling my speech goes against my First Amendment, which is one of the first amendments that we always know about, right? Freedom of speech, freedom of arms, we know the right to bear arms, we know these are things. But you cannot keep doing that, and it's decorum. Profanity is a protected speech underneath the First Amendment as well. So you're going to need to probably address that in your decorum rules as well. And personal attacks. You are a public figure. Public satire and public attacks are what you're going to have to endure when you're in those seats. Those are not just seats to allow you just to speak to people whenever you want to or chill their speech. You can't do that. That is against the First Amendment. How much time do I have? 1 minute, 38 seconds. Awesome, doing great. So now, in regards to my speech, I would like for you guys to stop doing that, please. I would request it if it's amenable to you. Tony, you look so happy right now. But I would like for you to stop doing that. That is not fair. And the reason you don't have any control over the gentleman over here to my left, the city manager, is because there's chaos here. When you have chaos in leadership, you're going to have chaos in your management. It's going to happen. So if you can't control yourselves here, then you definitely can't control this guy. And he is no different than you. If he allows you to say something and you allow him to say something, there's no control right there at all. 57 seconds. Awesome. Now, in regards to any visualization, and we like visualization, right? We can visualize this, right? You go into a store, you have bad customer service. What do? You go to talk to the manager. You find out that the manager also has bad customer service. You know where it came from. It came from the top down. Thank you very much. I have 37 seconds left. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Mr. Norton?
Good morning. How y'all doing tonight?
Good afternoon.
I'm here because of the last city council meeting, your city manager brought my name up and stated that I had assaulted him. First of all, I have spoken to that man 3 times. First time I talked to him was about down at the fairgrounds, why they only cut the field, only half the field at a time. And he said he would check into it and get back with me. Well, he did not. So I called him back. Well, then he wanted to talk down to me and tell me that I need to look up the article that says that it's wetlands and it can't be cut. Well, I did, but I called people that know. And the lady sent a paper, which I give every one of you a copy of, stating that it could be cut. Grass can be cut. trees cannot, even if it's wetlands. And the third thing is, I mean, this man, I don't know what his problem is, I'm gonna lie to somebody. But he brought my name up that I've assaulted him. I've never assaulted this man. The last time I talked to him was I talked to Eddie Martin up here, and when I was walking away, he stopped me and told me I need to come by and talk to him. And I told him there's nothing I got to say to him. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Amber Daniels.
Good evening. First of all, I just want to apologize for the constant disrespect that you all have to endure every session. A lot of respect. It takes a lot of maturity and a lot of adultness to come up here and just take that month after month. So whether we're right, wrong, I just want to say I'm sorry as a citizen that you have to deal with that. I'm sorry as somebody that worked in the government for 5 years on the other side in TJ's role. I'm sorry that you have to deal with that. Now, what I came here for was just to let everybody know that All Aboard Gaming Club, we're going to be at Riverside Bakery this Saturday, 12:30 to 2 p.m., and we are doing a Valentine's Day special. We're going to have Scrabble competitions going on. So couples, friends, your parents, your elders, your kids, however you want to team up, just come in. We're going to take up to 4 groups, and we're giving away a $25 gift certificate for that. So just something to kind of get the folks out for the holidays. Also, we'll have Valentine's Day bingo going on, so a lot of people like that. It gets a lot of people able to have their coffee, talk with their family. So just feel free to bring your kids, your elderly parents, yourself, your couples, anybody come to the bakery, and we're going to have a good time.
What time did you say you started?
12:30 p.m., and it goes till 2 o'clock.
That's Saturday.
Yes, sir, it's on Saturday, Valentine's Day. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is that early voting starts on Thursday, so please get out and go vote. Ashley Chapel will be doing something Wednesday, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, I believe, where you can come and meet all the candidates. So I welcome everybody to come out to that, and thank you.
I have a question. That'll
Yes,
be
sir.
6 o'clock at Ashley Chapel?
Yes, sir.
And you come in the gymnasium part?
I believe that's where they're going to have it set up. Yes, sir.
I'd like to be there. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Comments of council. Mr. Sellers.
No comments. No, thank you.
Oh, sorry, skipping John. Go ahead, John.
Well, I got some pretty good updates for everybody, positive updates. And by the way, if anybody's got an issue with our rules of decorum, maybe they should look at Raleigh, North Carolina, as it came from Marshall David Adams. The city continues to make deliberate progress across critical infrastructure, economic development, housing, and quality of life initiatives while maintaining our physical discipline and long-term sustainability. Our major capital projects are advancing through required legal, financial, and regulatory processes and ensure responsible execution and compliance with state oversight. And at the same time, downtown reinvestment, housing partnerships, and private sector confidence signal positive momentum for job creation and community vitality. Continued investment in leadership development, organizational capacity, and strategic partnerships will remain essential to the city position itself for sustained and long-term success. Big update for our water treatment plant. We actually have our pre-construction meeting scheduled for February 23rd. And our engineers are actively coordinating with the general contractor and provide us with a detailed expectations on the timelines to break ground. So we should know that in the next few weeks. So that is huge for the city of Hamlet. We have moved a dead project within 1 year to ready for execution. Furthermore, our wastewater treatment plant, another project that sat stagnant for over 2 years. In the last year, we were able to get the discharge permit, and now we're expecting to push out for bid this summer or early fall with the expectations of breaking ground on our wastewater treatment plant this time next year. Those 2 projects alone are over $20 million in grants and USDA loan that are going to bring long-term growth capabilities for the city of Hamlet and also for our extended services that we provide to East Rockingham and the county. Our 65-acre property sale and economic development. This is a big one. Y'all should listen. The city sale, approximately 65 acres, is on track still. We're hoping to close on that no later than February, but they have until June to close on that. The broader development area exceeds over 100 acres, and according to this prospective buyer, if the project comes to full fruition, the development could generate over 1,000 jobs. That's twice what AWS is bringing. This concept remains tentative, and it's dependent on the buyer securing appropriate builders and partners, but I've seen their conceptual plans, and they include hotels, strip malls, green industry, small-scale manufacturing, restaurants, and child care facilities. I want to be clear, though, this is tentative on the buyer securing those right partners, but I have seen those initial sketch plans. Our Habitat for Humanity properties, we are ready to close on those. We've done all our requirements for them, and now we're just waiting for Habitat to secure their closing attorney and a closing date, and we'll finalize that, and that's going to bring in some affordable housing for the city of Hamlet. Update on our City Lake Trail. The engineering for the City Lake Trail is near completion. I had a meeting with them just this last week. We're hoping to go out for bid within the next 30 to 45 days on that, and to get as much of that trail expansion we can get done with the remaining funds. Now, it is only, roughly $200,000 left in there, and it's not going to get a lot, but what that does is it sets the stage. It gives us the civil plans, and it starts the initial investment of the project so that as our economic growth continues, the city revenues exceed our expenditures, then we'll be able to position ourselves to make, initial investments into that City Lake Trail, and the plans will already be done. There was some talk that I'm working remotely, which is a little crazy, but actually a couple weeks ago I was at the North Carolina City County Management Association Professional Development Seminar. The North Carolina City County Management Association seminar was extremely beneficial, and it provided a lot of relevant classes on current municipal challenges. Topics discussed include mental resilience and leadership, generative artificial intelligence and implications for local government, emergency management law, water and wastewater, regionalism, organizational team building, infrastructure funding strategies, professional development workshops, and maintaining civility in the face of increasing incivility. It's noteworthy that many municipalities expressed a strong need for the education and guidance in these areas, as these issues are increasing, affecting municipalities across the state. Downtown investment and small business momentum. You guys know we had the grand opening for Riverside Bakery. Packed crowd, it was great. And I just want to give a huge shout out to Riverside Bakery and Coffee Shop, and also Dine 82, because they're both thriving, and the city is excited to work with more entrepreneurs ready to invest in Hamlet. I just want to give special recognition to these two small businesses, because their energy that they bring to our community is exactly what we need. Last thing I have an update on is our storm system assessment and inventory. That map I sent out to you guys earlier this week for you to review. That's part of that AIA. Earlier this week, I was able to get a tentative date for completion that will have that 10-year capital improvement plan and in the finalized documents, and we're looking at mid-May to have that. And that's all I have for you. Open any questions.
All righty. Mr. Sellers?
No, thank you. No comments at this time.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes, I have a few. Excuse my hoarseness. I don't know why I'm hoarse, but go to the doctor and find out. First of all, I'd like to apologize to council because I did ask a question. I should have asked it when the lady was in front. That's my bad, and I apologize about that. Next thing is, I'd like to thank our employees for all that they done during the storms we had, the ice storm and everything. We had maintenance guys out, clearing roads, doing all kind of stuff, and they're always on time and on the spot. So I thank Robert Brown and all those guys, and the fire department, the police department, and everything was going good, and I appreciate that. I've heard a few statements, you know, some people have a crystal ball, or they think they have a crystal ball, about when the water treatment plant and the wastewater treatment plant's going to come about. If it was a personal thing for me to go buy something, I make the decision or I get the money and I buy it. When you're dealing with local government, it's altogether different. You don't do things that way. Just like we're hiring somebody to make sure that $12 million is spent correctly and done like it's supposed to. So nobody can say, oh, where'd the $12 million go? You know, I didn't get to buy my beach house because I didn't get the $12 million. So, but anyway, it takes time. The wheels of government move slow. And I'm thankful for that sometimes. The next thing is, I personally, when we sit up here and somebody's giving us a zoning ordinance or changing a zoning ordinance, I take that personally. I don't take it light. I know that people live around there, and many years ago, I was not in the city limits, and the city of Hamlet decided they wanted to take me in the city limits. I done everything I could to stop them. I'm in the city limits. So there's certain things that we have to look at, just like Councilman Stewart said, our town's going to change. It's going to change. So please understand, we do not take this stuff light. I don't. And I look at all aspects and everything. So I'd like to thank John for his ideas and for his passion that he has on this project. I think it's great. I think it's something that, you know, I try to support the bakery. I try to support Dine 82. I try to support all these businesses because I've been here over 50 years. I was here when there was not an empty building on either side of town. They were all full. You could go to a jewelry store. You could go to a clothing store. You could go to, I think it was, Gin something down on Hamlet Avenue, the low Hamlet Gin and Supply. I was here. I was here when the movie theater was open. Went in the movie theaters. So I know, and that hurts me. It bothers me that Hamlet's not that way again. My desire is to see it that way again. I want to see it thriving, and that's my goal. Joe, I agree with you 100%. There is a liability, and that's what I was thinking the whole time, but we also have something there that I think that would be wonderful. But like you said, we need to look at it from a liability standpoint. I know John's got to have a liability policy for his business over $1 million. I had a limo service one time, $1 million liability policy. So it's not easy, but I agree. And I think if we can put our heads together and we can do everything we can to work it out, it'll be great. But I agree 100%. I don't want no liability issues or things like that. I think that's all, but Chief, I'd like to talk to you about a few things later. Okay. Not bad, it's all good. That's all I have, Mayor, I'm sorry.
Mr. Stewart?
I'll just say, the last couple of weeks, guys, we've experienced some different kind of weather here in Richmond County. And so thank you so much to our city employees. You know, when we're able to be home in our beds and being warm and eating all day long, city employees are out in the ice, in the snow, and taking calls after calls after calls. So thank you so much to our city employees for doing the very best that they know how to do. We got our fire chief back there. Thank you so much, Trey, for the things that you did last couple of weeks. And to our police chief, thank you so much, sir. Early voting, this is an important election, guys. Important election. Early voting starts Thursday, right? At the center in Rockingham. Is that right, Ms. Daniels? All right, so guys, please pass the word. Please pass the word on early voting. And Black History Month. You know, Mr. Stewart's gonna say something about that. It's near and dear to my heart. You know, it's 365, quite frankly. And it is, you know, it's Black History Month is World History Month. It's everybody's History Month. And I encourage and implore everybody to celebrate in some kind of way. We have some local heroes. Mr. J. Kenneth Lee, who is from Hamlet, who was one of 4 people that helped desegregate the UNC Law School. And of course, world-renowned Mr. John Coltrane. That goes without saying. And Mr. Frederick Branch, if you all don't know that name, first African-American to be an officer in the United States Marine Corps, right here from Hamlet, North Carolina. Mr. Henry Fry, who is from Ellaby, first African-American Chief Justice. I'm sure Mr. TC can attest to that and knows exactly who he is. But, you know, the list goes on, and we could talk about people from all over this country, but we got some heroes right here from these streets of Hamlet. And I will say, like Mr. Cluis said, I remember the time that, you know, none of these buildings were empty. And I would love to see us get back to that at some point if possibly can. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to the meetings. I love to see people at the meetings. It's not always feel good. It's not always feel good moments. I go home sometimes and I think, what could I have done differently, or what could I have said differently? But at the end of the day, you know, we stand up for this. We have constituents that voted us into this, and I'm here for it. And people, I stand on the shoulders of people that died so I could stand here and do what I do. So thank you guys so much, and please continue to come to the meetings and be a part of the city that you live in. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
I don't know that there's much left to say. We've had a pretty good time. But I, too, want to thank the city employees and everybody, the fire department, the police department, Doc. I was really tickled to see his pictures of him running up and down the street with his little snow blade on the front of his four-wheeler, RV, whatever it was. We don't have an occasion to need that kind of equipment very often, so we didn't have it at all until Doc moved here from Maine. We had to have it the first 2 years he was here, and I guess we're back in the swing. But it was fun, and now it's going to be springtime. So if you heard that from me, it's not going to be that cold anymore. But I also want to say that I appreciate what you said, Ms. Daniels. Nobody up here does this for their own personal aggrandizement. We're here because we asked to be here by putting our name in the hat for an election. And I think when you make that commitment, you're not here because we're going to get rich doing this. Far from it. It doesn't present a million economic opportunities. Far from it. But it does present the challenge and the opportunity to help your community and to be a part of what keeps us between the ditches. And I thank you for it, and I'm sure they all feel the same way.
All right, well, I'd like to echo what everybody else said. Thank you to all our city employees, fire department, police department, public works, Doc and his crew, and that's all I've got. So we need a motion to go into closed session.
Madam Mayor, under attorney-client privilege, we're going to be discussing the Latimer v. City of Hamlet lawsuit.
Okay. Can I have a motion to go into closed session?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.